He lost the first game. He lost on Cloud Kingdom, and his opponent to the bottom left in the blue, the Finnish player, it is Welmu.
And yeah, just about the map itself. We were talking to some of the players about it, and I don't who was. I think it was maybe Mana that likened it to Dual Sight, and I thought that was a pretty good comparison. Two-player map, fairly open center, with bases that are spread out all over the place. And now typically that kind of a map format that kind of a map layout is going to be pretty good for Zerg, because Zerg can expand pretty freely, and it's harder for other races to get a third base. I've been having a little bit of difficulty against Protoss here, though, because there are some really narrow chokes around the map, and if Protoss chooses their fights wisely, it becomes really, really hard to get a favorable engagement. So I don't really know why I'm talking about ZVP, though. This is PvP, and that means that this one's probably going to play out much like our last game.
I really want to see if Welmu is a bit more aggressive now. He made a bunch of mistakes last game, but he just played so well that it didn't really matter. His really, really late extended thermal lens is certainly something to note. At the 23
minutes? Yeah, the 22:50 or so is when he started it.
And, well, he played really, really well besides those few mistakes that I just put down to nervousness, especially the second Twilight Council. But he has to check the game later and just realize, okay, I was so far ahead. I need to be a little bit more aggressive. When I have such a huge lead, just taking the momentum after winning the first fight and taking down at least the third base would have ended the game so much faster.
Yeah. Yeah, certainly he played perhaps a little bit overly passive, but in spite of that, I still think he's got to be feeling confident moving into this game. Made mistakes and still won, so that's always a good feeling. And you know, I'm really... I want to see Titan bounce back, because, I mean, like I said at the beginning of the cast, I do think Titan is one of the upcoming players in the European scene, so I want him to have a big breakout tournament here. And because that way it makes me look smart for saying it.
That's the only reason. You're so selfish.
What can I say? Once again, Zealot Stalker openings from these guys, so I do expect almost identical early games. But we will see.
I don't know what this guy is up to.
Yeah, he's talking in Russian. I assume that's Russian. Yeah, that's Russian, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It should be. And we have the robotics facility already. So, if I'm not mistaken, one gate in the robo. Yep, that's exactly what happens.
Wow.
And Welmu with exactly the same opening.
Why are these guys changing it up like this? Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of it's much more in vogue these days to get the Twilight Council first, followed up with your robo for observers and for things like that, things like Immortals. Going robo first is really I'm curious. Why do this?
Well, we're going to find out pretty soon. We have the first Immortal now being built, and it's a very, very small map, so the push distances are not that huge. You can try to go for some kind of timing attack, which is probably exactly what we're going to see. The robotics is going to be done for Welmu now. Once again, he's lagging behind a little bit. That's what we've seen on the first map as well, in regards to the Harvest account, both on even terms, though. Yeah,
Titan definitely seems to have a slightly more streamlined build. One gate robo into 3 gates, and then I guess he'll probably go, whoa, actually, is this going to be a Warp Prism 4 gate?
He has 3 gates already being built, and the robotics facility is to supply, but no, he's not. And there's the second Immortal.
What is this build?
Third gateway now coming up for Welmu. Also chrono boosting his Immortals.
Oh, a very fast robo bay for Welmu. So Welmu going to be playing Colossus. And Titan is 4-gate Immortal thus far, which is I don't know. I don't know what to say, Khaldor.
The thing is, if he starts to attack with the army that he has right now, Titan that is, and Welmu is trying to defend, he already has 1 sentry. The sentry is gathering energy, has 2 force fields available. He can warp in additional ones if need be. So I think that he can defend this one single ramp for quite a while and wait for his just wait for his robotics. Without the Warp Prism, as you already mentioned, it's going to be pretty hard to get up this ramp.
Yeah, Titan has no way of breaking the ramp. He's got no Colossi to crush force fields. He's got no Archons. He's got no Warp Prism to warp in on the high ground. Obviously, he's got an Observer somewhere, right? Right?
Yeah, there's Observer in the main base of Welmu.
Okay.
But, no, actually,
Titan has an observer. It's on the unit. There. Okay, it's in the middle of the map, so it's coming across after this second immortal. But this is a very aggressive and very interesting opening from Titan, and I'm having a hard time. Maybe this ramp, does it take 2 force fields to block this ramp? Nope, just 1.
Yeah. You need to position it perfectly, but that is exactly what Welmu does right now. And he can just warp in additional sentries if need be.
Now this is a sneaky pylon over here on the top of Welmu's base, and he's got no vision of this.
He's warping in units onto the high ground, and that might be a huge problem to Welmu. That's the one thing that he doesn't account for, and his Zealots, well, the Zealots are heading for the probe line. Wow, this is going to be horrible for Welmu. He has to back off at the same time. One immortal caught at the ramp, and here comes Titan trying to move up. The force field goes down at the same time. We already have 10 workers killed. Titan is now with this attack just obliterating Welmu.
Yeah, absolutely. If the attack was ill-fated to begin with, it's not anymore, as Titan has just he's decimated the probe line of Welmu. And now he can, quite frankly, just walk up the ramp. But he still hasn't just fully committed to that, warping in more Zealots in the back. Now Titan's going to go up this ramp, and 2 Immortals in the army of Titan, 2 Immortals and a Colossus. The army of Welmu is still terrifyingly big. And I mean, he's got the better army, in my opinion.
Yeah, but the problem is that he is he's so far behind when he comes down to his harvest account. So if he waits in his base now and plays passive once again, Titan will be in the position where he can just get even in tech, can get a lot more units, and this is horrible for Welmu. I have to say that he could have just defended against this attack if he just would have placed down 1 pylon at the top of his base. He would have seen the warp in pylon soon enough to take care of it. But as it is, he was completely surprised by the warp in.
Yeah, and I mean, I think reasonably so. It was a really weird build from Titan. Hard to kind of expect something like that. You don't see 4-gate with an observer for warp in very often. If there's a 4-gate robo variation, it's usually with a warp prism. So that was I don't know, that was different.
Warp prism is being built, by the way, and we also have the speed for the warp prism at that. So the army for Titan is just looking very, very strong now. He lacks the Colossi, but it won't be long before he starts his own Colossi production. And at the time, we have him with a decent lead in Immortals already. He has the Warp Prism, and he is trying to put on some pressure onto Welmu, heading for his opponent's main base. The thing is that Titan is not able to defend his ramp, though, because there is already 1 Colossi that can just tear the force fields apart.
Titan might actually be making a mistake here, sending out those 2 Immortals. I mean, that makes his army, his already smaller army, much smaller than the army of Welmu, and this is a very scary push coming from Welmu.
It is. Here we go. He's going up the ramp. Force field is completely useless against the Colossi, and the Warp Prism arrives in the main base of Welmu, though, and trying to take down the entire base, and I think he'll be able to do so. He's already killing a ton of probes at the same time. Welmu is moving to his opponent's main base, trying to take on Titan's army, and he might succeed. He needs to micro his Colossus, but he's doing very well so far, and most of the Immortals for Titan are already gone. Is he able to pull it off?
I don't know. It looks like every single defending unit in the base of Titan is going to fall. Well, we're going to pick off all the probes as well. So if it turns into a race, it's not one that Titan is likely to win. 27 supply against 47. The Immortals in the main of Welmu doing huge damage.
And look at to the top of the base, Ben. We have an expansion for Welmu. He's building an expansion. He's able to pull it off. Titan does so much damage with the initial push to the economy of his opponent, but the army for Welmu is just so much better. And this time he doesn't hesitate. He attacks right away and takes the game.
2-0.